You wake up. The morning light spills gently across your bedroom floor. It should be a good day, but as you sit up, something feels off. Your legs don't feel as steady. You catch yourself against the wall. Just a little dizzy, you say. Probably nothing. But what if it's not nothing? Every 40 seconds in the United States, someone experiences a stroke. That's more than 2,000 people a day. And for those of us over 50, the risk doesn't just increase, it multiplies. But here's something many people still don't realize. Up to 80% of strokes are preventable. Yes, preventable. How? Not by running marathons, not by expensive gym memberships, but by small, simple movements. The kind you can do in your living room or by your kitchen chair. The kind of movements that keep your blood flowing, your brain alert, your balance steady, and your independence intact. Because let's be honest, no one fears getting old. What we fear is losing control, losing memory, losing the ability to live life on our terms. But imagine the opposite. Instead of slowly declining, what if your 60s and 70s became your strongest years? Instead of fearing each step, what if you move with confidence? Instead of wondering if your mind is slipping, what if you felt sharper than you have in years? That's why this video matters. Because today I'm going to show you 10 simple, science-backed exercises that can reduce your stroke risk after 50 and improve the health of your legs, heart, and brain. One of them is so powerful it improves your blood vessels in just 14 days. I'll share it with you near the end. And there's a bonus at the end too. Used by physical therapists, it only takes 3 minutes a day and supports blood flow to the brain. So let me ask, if you could protect your brain, your balance, your independence, would you start today? When people think of stroke, they often imagine sudden dramatic moments, slurred speech, weakness on one side, a trip to the hospital. But for many, the warning signs come quietly. A little dizziness when getting out of bed, a wobble while walking through the grocery store, a feeling that your legs don't listen quite like they used to. And then one fall that breaks a hip, that sends you to the ER, that leads to days in a hospital bed where blood clots form, movement stops, and stroke risk skyrockets. That's why the first group of exercises I want to show you focus on balance, posture, and circulation. Because the truth is, we don't just fall because we get old. We fall because we stop training the systems that keep us upright. Let's start with marching in place, either standing or seated. If you can walk to your kitchen, you can do this. If you're in a chair, sit tall. Lift one knee toward your chest, lower it, then lift the other. Go at a steady pace, like marching to a gentle beat. Start with 2 minutes a day. This simple motion improves blood flow to your legs, engages your core, and builds coordination. Dr. Jonathan Bean at Harvard uses this exact move with older patients who are recovering strength. And if your knees hurt when standing, do it seated. It works just as well. Want to make it more effective? Add gentle arm swings. Not wild, just enough to engage your shoulders. This makes it a full-body rhythm, boosting circulation without strain. Next, let's train your balance directly. Stand behind a sturdy chair, hold it gently, lift 1 foot an inch off the ground and hold it there. 10 seconds, then switch sides. Try it daily, and when you feel stronger, try it without holding on. These are called balance drills, and they do more than just prevent falls. They retrain your brain to talk to your body. They strengthen the small, stabilizing muscles around your ankles, knees, and hips. And according to a 2022 review in Geriatrics and Gerontology International, they reduce fall risk by up to 39% in older adults. That's not just protection, that's freedom. And here's something most people overlook. Deep breathing can improve balance too, because when your breathing is shallow and fast, your nervous system stays in a state of stress. But when you breathe deeply, slowly, from your belly, You activate the parasympathetic system. Blood vessels relax, blood flows freely to your brain, and dizziness often fades. Try this. Place one hand on your chest, one on your belly. Breathe in through your nose. Let your belly rise. Exhale slowly through pursed lips. Do it for 5 minutes each morning, especially before standing up. One woman wrote to me last week. She's 72. She said, I used to get dizzy every time I stood up, but now after just 3 weeks of morning marching and deep breathing, I don't need to hold the wall anymore. That's the power of small habits, done consistently. So instead of fearing the next fall, start training today, because the real risk isn't falling, it's what happens after. But with the right movements, you don't have to wait for disaster. You can move from fear to confidence. Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why? Or struggled to find the right word mid-sentence? Maybe you've noticed your thoughts feel a bit slower, your focus not quite as sharp. It's easy to write these moments off as just aging, but often they're signals, reminders from your body that your brain needs more blood. You see, your brain only weighs about 2% of your body, but it uses 20% of your oxygen. And how does that oxygen get there? Through blood vessels, tiny, delicate highways that must stay open, flexible, and strong. When circulation slows, memory fades. When blood vessels narrow, think in clouds. But here's the good news. Just like we train muscles, we can train blood flow. Let's begin with something ancient yet powerful. Tai Chi. It's been called meditation in motion, but it's more than graceful movements. In a 2022 review published in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience, Tai Chi was shown to increase brain perfusion, reduce stress hormones like cortisol, and improve balance, all crucial for preventing stroke. You don't need a big space, just enough room to move your arms gently. Start with 10 minutes a day. Find a simple routine online, or just repeat 3 slow motions synced with your breath. The key is not speed, but flow. If Tai Chi feels intimidating, try gentle yoga or even chair yoga. Dr. Satbir Khalsa at Harvard explains how yoga supports the autonomic nervous system. That's the system that controls your heart rate, blood pressure, and digestion. With consistent practice, it boosts parasympathetic tone, which relaxes arteries and improves blood delivery to the brain. Simple poses like cat-cow, seated spinal twist, and legs up the wall are especially good. Not only do they help circulation, they also reduce tension in the neck and shoulders, areas that can restrict blood to the brain. But let's not forget the most underrated exercise of all: intentional breathing. When was the last time you paused just to breathe? Deep breathing isn't just calming, it's biological medicine. Pulmonologist Dr. Bise Varanish explains that diaphragmatic breathing increases nitric oxide production. This molecule relaxes blood vessels, lowers blood pressure, and boosts oxygen flow to the brain. And it only takes 5 minutes a day. Try this. Sit comfortably. Place one hand on your belly, one on your chest. Inhale through your nose. Feel your belly expand. Exhale slowly through pursed lips. Repeat gently. Even one session a day can make a difference. Still want more? Here's the bonus I promised: a physical therapy technique called the head tilt pump. It's simple. Sit tall, relax your shoulders, slowly tilt your head to the right, hold for 2 seconds, return to center, then left. Repeat 10 times each side. Why does it matter? Because this gentle movement stimulates the vertebral arteries. Those are the vessels that bring blood to your brainstem. And your brainstem, that's command central for breathing, balance, and blood pressure. Just 3 minutes, once a day. It's not flashy, it's not loud, but it works. And that's the theme here. You don't need fancy tools to support your brain. You need movement. Gentle, rhythmic, consistent movement. Movement that tells your body, I'm still here, I still care. Keep the blood flowing. Keep the mind alive. Instead of forgetting more and more each year, imagine remembering more. Instead of fearing cognitive decline, imagine sharpening your thinking. It all starts with blood, and blood starts with you. What's the number one reason many older adults lose their independence? It's not memory loss. It's not even illness. It's weakness in the lower body. When your legs grow weak, everything else follows. Your balance, your mobility, even your heart. And here's a surprising fact. Weak leg muscles can increase your stroke risk. Why? Because they reduce circulation, cause blood pooling, and increase the strain on your cardiovascular system. That's why this next group of exercises focuses on building strength, gently but effectively. Let's begin with the most basic movement of all, walking. Not just any walk, a brisk walk. A 2023 study published in the Journal of Stroke and Cerebrovascular Diseases found that adults over 50 who walked briskly for just 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, had a 43% lower risk of stroke. That's nearly cutting your risk in half. Why does it work? Because brisk walking improves something called endothelial function. That's the health of the lining inside your blood vessels. It also helps regulate blood pressure, reduce clot formation, and boost heart strength. You don't need to walk far. Start with 10 minutes a day. Walk at a pace where you can still talk but not sing. As your stamina improves, add 5 more minutes. Walk after meals for even more benefit, especially for controlling blood sugar. And here's the beauty. Every step counts. Studies show that just 1,000 extra steps a day can reduce stroke risk by 24%, even for people with high blood pressure. Can't walk outside? Try cycling, either on a stationary bike or a real one. It's a low-impact way to build leg endurance and improve cardiovascular health. A 2021 study in Circulation showed that regular cycling improved blood lipid profiles and reduced arterial stiffness, both critical for preventing strokes and heart attacks. Begin with 10 minutes at a moderate pace, gradually increase to 20-30 minutes a few times a week, and if balance is a concern, consider a recumbent stationary bike. These offer back support and are incredibly safe. Now, if walking or biking still feels like too much, here's an at-home favorite. Resistance band leg presses. Sit in a sturdy chair. Loop a resistance band around the bottom of one foot. Hold the ends in your hands. Slowly push your leg forward, then return. Do 10 reps on each side. This movement builds quadriceps strength, supports your knees, and keeps blood flowing up from the legs, helping to prevent clot formation, which is a major cause of ischemic strokes. Even the prestigious journal Lancet Neurology found that maintaining strong lower body muscles is directly linked to better vascular health. And let's not forget, the more strength you have in your legs, the more freedom you keep. Freedom to shop alone, to get out of a chair without help, to climb stairs, to carry your own groceries, to dance at your granddaughter's wedding. Because here's the truth, every leg day is a heart day. Your legs aren't just for walking, they're for pumping blood. The calf muscles act like a second heart, pushing blood upward toward your brain. So when your legs weaken, your circulation suffers. But when your legs stay strong, you age on your own terms. So instead of settling into the couch and shrinking your world smaller and smaller, start building strength one step at a time, even if it's just 10 minutes a day, even if it's just around the house, even if you have to hold on to the kitchen counter at first, because every strong step is a step away from stroke and a step toward the life you still want to live. Let me ask you something gently. When was the last time someone held your hand? Not because you needed help, but because they cared. Many people over 60 quietly carry the weight of loneliness, not the kind that comes from being alone, but the kind that comes from being unseen. Even in long marriages, even surrounded by family, some of us feel untouched, unheard, unfelt. One woman wrote in our comments, "I begged for a simple hand on my shoulder, a hug, a voice asking how I really am, but it never came." And yet the body remembers. It remembers what it feels like to be touched, to move with grace, to feel present inside the skin. That's why these last exercises aren't just for the body, they're for the soul. Let's start in the water. Swimming or water aerobics is perhaps the most forgiving form of exercise there is. Why? Because water carries you. It supports your joints while gently challenging your heart and muscles. Dr. Bruce Becker, a researcher in aquatic therapy, found that swimming improves vascular compliance, your arteries' ability to expand and contract. That flexibility protects against stroke and heart disease. Even walking back and forth in chest-deep water counts. If you can't swim, just move. The water will do half the work, and your heart will thank you for the rest. No pool nearby? Let's return to the quiet power of yoga. You don't have to be flexible. You don't have to bend like a pretzel. You just have to show up. Gentle or chair yoga, especially movements like seated twist, neck rolls, and legs up the wall, can restore circulation to tight, forgotten places. They help with posture, breathing, and most of all, presence. Presence in the body, in the moment, in the here and now. Dr. Satbir Khalsa explains that yoga balances the autonomic nervous system, reducing stress and lowering inflammation. Two hidden enemies of healthy aging. But here's what people rarely say. Sometimes yoga is the only time in your day when you touch yourself with care, when your hand rests on your heart, when your breath deepens into your belly, when you say this body still matters. And maybe, just maybe, you remember how it felt to dance when you were 20, or the first time someone held your hand in silence, or the way your mother used to brush your hair with tenderness. Because movement brings memory, and memory brings healing. That's what one 84-year-old man told me. He said, "I started yoga in a chair. My wife passed 3 years ago. I didn't expect much. But every time I stretch now, it's like I'm talking to my body again, saying sorry for all the years I ignored it." Maybe you've ignored your body too, not on purpose, but from years of caring for others, years of survival, years of just pushing through. Now is the time to return to softness, to slowness, to sensation. Because these exercises aren't just about reducing stroke risk, they're about returning home to the only place you've ever truly lived, inside your body. So instead of letting this year go by in pain or silence, what if you gave yourself the gift of presence, the presence of gentle movement, of healing breath, of loving attention, the presence that says, I still matter. You've just learned 10 powerful ways to lower your risk of stroke after 50, not through pills, not through fear, but through movement, gentle, steady, life-giving movement. Because here's the truth, we don't stop exercising because we grow old. We grow old because we stop exercising. You don't need to do all 10 exercises every single day. Pick 3 or 4 that feel good to you. Rotate them through the week. The key isn't intensity, it's consistency. It's waking up and saying, I'm going to move today. I'm going to take care of me. Let me ask you, which part of today's video spoke to you most? Was it the marching that steadies your balance? The walking that pumps blood to your brain? The deep breathing that calms your heart? Or the quiet stretch that reminded you, you're still here, still alive? Whatever it was, don't let it stay a thought. Make it a habit. You have the power to lower your stroke risk, to improve your memory, to protect your independence, starting with just 10 minutes a day. And if a woman in her 80s in the Philippines can do it, if a retired teacher in Zimbabwe can do it, if a man grieving his wife found healing in a chair stretch, so can you. Before you go, here's what I want you to do. Comment below with your age and where you're watching from. Let's show the world that strength has no expiration date. And if you found this helpful, please like this video. It helps more people find it. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss our weekly tips for staying strong, independent, and sharp after 50. Your body has carried you this far. Now it's your turn to carry it with care, with love, with movement. Your future doesn't begin next year or next month. It begins today with one step.